Hello, welcome back to the Mervyn League podcast.
Hello, Ben.
John and Ash, it's great to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Good to see you too. Yeah.
Guys, we're on our holidays. As you can see, I'm still not back in the office at home. I'm back down in my parents with the kids for summer, but it's all happening. It is all happening. Only the greatest show on earth, the Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely is. Inspirational stories abound.
Oh, absolutely. Ash, the Olympics, you've been all over it.
Well, you did just cut out there, but I assumed that you were going to say I'm all over it. I have been all over the table tennis.
Yes, the table tennis in particular, and we're going to get a few words on that later, aren't we?
Yes. Do you want to have a few words?
A few words, maybe some strong words, inspirational words. But I'm really looking forward to what you're going to share. But the Olympics is here. It's insert all sort of French one-liners and puns, all of that. And but we've covered the Euros, and we're diving now, synchro diving into the Olympics.
Very good.
And thank you very much. And
it
always starts with the opening ceremonies. Now, Ashley, when we talked about the Euros in Germany, great competition. Less we talk about the final, the better. But the opening ceremony, you were not fussed. You thought UEFA had basically just forgotten about it. So what stood out to you?
Yeah. It was a low bar they set, wasn't it? It was a low bar the Germans set.
Yeah.
But the French have delivered.
Yeah, I think...
For me.
For you, yes.
For you.
And for you, Ashley?
John, and for me...
John, why don't we get your thoughts first? You seem to be jumping at the bit for this
jump in there,
I'm just chomping at the bit.
Oh, go on. Well, go on, John. Opening ceremony, Paris. Not in the stadium. Just talk us through it. Talk us through the bits. I was camping whilst this was taking place.
It was, you know what? It was quite similar to camping, where the weather's against you. It's raining. It's a bit drab. But I tell you what, you can still have a great time. And you can express yourself. You know?
Yes. I think that was the motto of it.
Lots of double entendres and meanings in there. And it was down the Seine. Thankfully, sort of nobody swimming and catching E. coli at that moment.
Very good again.
But I think the best, my favourite part that I did get to see from it was Serena Williams and Rafa Nadal looking like they're both about to throw up at any moment on a bouncy speedboat with the Olympic flame. That was really the only bit I saw. Ash, can you just talk us through other elements of the opening ceremony? Was it a winner for you?
Yes, but I mean, you have to go in with low expectations for any opening ceremony. They're always a little bit stupid, a little bit ridiculous, and it certainly delivered on that front. But highlights: Celine Dion on the Eiffel Tower singing an Edith Piaf song. What could be better than that? In the Paris skyline. Yes. Brilliant. And then that cauldron.
Yeah.
Flying high.
Sort of very
beautiful stuff. Yes, interpretive dance, modern dance. I don't know. Too much of that stuff, but that's fine. It is what it is.
You don't get it, man. Maybe you just don't get it.
I don't get it, but that's fine. I don't have to get it all. There was something for everyone in that one because it was pretty long. 4.5 hours or so. Oh, something for everyone. A proper variety show.
They sometimes ticket the opening ceremony like as an event in itself. Like people just get tickets to go to the Olympics for the opening ceremony.
Fair enough. You get good value out of it.
Absolutely. Well,
except it was moving along, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's like watching the London Marathon and being right at the start and going, well, that's that then. But I guess you get to hear all the party atmosphere. There's acrobats. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
Zinedine Zidane was looking good.
When he's not?
He's looking very well. Yeah, he didn't when he was playing.
I'll tell you what, the
skills, but
hot and sweaty.
Zizou, yeah, he's all class. The Australian boat was smug. Flipping heck. You see them, the Australian boat, they're all cheering and like, they're all there.
Oh,
Yogi, yogi.
awful.
Oi, 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 down the Seine.
Yeah.
Were they? Yeah. Trying to find
I'd
a local
expect nothing
walkabout
less.
or something.
And we had Papa Smurf, of course. Papa
Yes.
Smurf in drag. Lots
Yeah.
of drag and lots of raunchiness.
There
Yeah.
was, yeah.
That was something you said on text, John. You said, "Oh, they've sort of stepped up the raunchy
Yeah, I think
as the night went on."
Well, Ashley pointed it out, and then it actually got raunchier. So
Yeah, post watershed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just seen Lady Gaga do a sort of vaguely burlesque kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, ooh la la.
yeah,
But it was just a start.
Yeah,
And that's fine with me. I mean, I am a prude, but it's fine. That's fine. I sort of expect that kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, fair.
yes,
But boy, did it annoy some people on
Yeah.
the right.
yeah. And obviously, talking about post watershed, they are an hour ahead, so we had it all earlier than the normal. So, oh my goodness, it was full of controversy, wasn't it, John? Full
Yeah.
of controversy.
But anyway, then we got into the sport, didn't we?
Oh, we did. Great
Yes.
segue. Well done. But just a quick general out of 10 for the opening ceremony. Quick out of 10. Ash, your score?
6.7.
Ooh.
It's a wheat for me. It's a wheat.
Oh, very nice. Better
Oh,
than
sorry, I
London
should have done it in
2012.
French.
Better than London 2012. Better than Mr. Bean on his keyboard.
It was different.
Different. All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
move on
yeah.
then. Let's move on. And it would be great to talk about our highlights so far. So we're a couple of days into the games. Couple of days in now. The medal table is racking up. Something that I learnt today, that in America they go on total number of medals. So in their eyes, they're winning. They're having a great time. Rather than
They would.
normal, they do it by golds. So,
Are we into medal tables? Are you into it?
well, apparently the Americans are. It's always nice to see, isn't it?
I suppose.
A
It doesn't give you
comparatively small
you
nation.
the real stories behind these medals, does it?
Yeah. Well, there have been so many highlights, so many stories, so many medals that have been given out. I'm going to list a few highlights, some of our medals, some just great stories, and I'd love you guys to pass on your thoughts if you've got any other highlights that have come out as well. So, as I say, the swimming, loved Adam Peaty and his happy tears, his comeback into competitive swimming. That was lovely. The men's 4x200 relay gold,
Yeah,
defending
big
that
chests
title.
on those lads. Absolutely massive chests.
A lot of slapping and thighs, and it was a fantastic.
Yeah, slapping
swim.
the water. What's your favourite swimming celebration? Is it slapping the water? Is it trying to sit up? You know, they're trying to sit up on the middle bouncy bit, but sometimes they sort of struggle because it's quite taut and they fall off.
One of the guys did that yesterday. He looked all set for a big celebration and just fell backwards.
Yeah, rip your goggles off, cap off, slap the water a bit.
Yeah, I think if you're in the relay, you've all got to jump in. You've just got to go nuts, haven't you? That's what I do.
Yeah, you don't see that though, do you? Do they
No.
jump in? No, they more just lift the other one out.
Yeah, bit pool party vibes. That's what I'm after. Sticking with the pool, we had the diving. Tom Daly. I think that's, if I'm correct, 5 medals at 5 Olympics. Like you forget
His 5th
how
Olympics for sure.
Yeah, you forget how early he started, and amazing that he's been able to medal at every one that he's competed at. And
In front of his kid. Inspirational stuff.
Yeah, knitting away as well. That's less of a highlight. But what was a great highlight in the diving was the women's. We got a medal in there, the 10 metre synchro. I think it was like one of the first ones ever for women's, or like a really long time. Equestrian team gold. Great if you like horses. Tom Piddock, mountain bike.
Pidcock, please.
Pidcock, sorry.
Corrections
What did I
corner.
say?
Don't
You
sense
said
it.
Piddock.
Piddock.
Well, that's fine.
Pidcock. Tom Pidcock. And, well, it was because it was breathless, wasn't it? We got
That's the highlight for me. That race was something else.
Go on, John. Talk us through it. Tom Pidcock.
Well, Tom Pidcock went out well. It looked like he was going to run away with it, just like his Ineos teammate Pauline Ferrand-Prévot did the day before. Then he got a puncture. Slow to change it. It's agonising. He's just standing there. They're taking the through axle out. They use a drill now to put the through axle back in. Good bit of tech, save a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But then he looked calm as a cucumber. He was back on and he reeled the front group in until it was him and Victor Koretsky. Dive bombs in.
Oh,
A bit of touch of the elbows sort of thing. The French were booing.
is Mark Cavendish.
Yeah, but the Frenchman said after he was full of praise. He didn't mind it. He said that was all part of the race. Yeah, it was just a terrific ding-dong battle on that last lap.
It was. Major cojones from the man in Lycra.
I tell you what, huge.
And I mean, I've, what a great course to have a tree right in the middle of your route. That you've got to pick something for. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was...
Leave it there.
Yeah, that was a great one. Trap shooting gold, world record, Olympic record. Our guy there, just... You forget about these sports. Well done. One of my highlights, I'm going to pick one out here. Okay, something that you probably haven't got a medal in yet. But 16-year-old Meg Havers in the archery. Phenomenal. Like
I missed this.
70 meters. She was against a Chinese competitor, and I tell you what, she looked so cool, so happy to be there. Like she'd win a set, and then she's smiling to her coach. She's just look almost like she just stumbled in and was like, "Oh, I happen to be really good at this." But she was so clinical when she needed to. She got one arrow almost directly on, like the very center of the target.
A bullseye? Do they call it a bullseye in archery or not? I don't know.
I don't want to sully archery by giving it darts terms and making it kind of lager loutish, but I'm going to say it's a bullseye. I'm going to say it's a bullseye. But I think she's shooting 70 meters, and not only she's not shooting dead straight, she's shooting it 3 meters up in the air.
Is she? Hang on. Is she getting a bit of grass, pinching it, throwing it up in the air?
No.
Seeing how the wind catches it. Is she like wet the finger, stick it in the air?
No, she's her own windsock.
Calibrating.
She knows exactly what's happening. She doesn't need to do any of that. I mean, also because they're on a big carpet, so there's no grass to pick up. But it was
just like your garden.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
It's the way of the world now, isn't it?
Phenomenal. And again, it was just her composure. We've talked about that word a lot on our podcast, but for 16 years old, at the highest stage, when she needed to, was amazing.
Those two C's at Olympic level are really important, aren't they? Composure and cojones.
Yeah.
That's what you need for a gold.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And as I said, I don't know what the outcome is of the individual archery competition, but that is one that my dad and I, we were watching, and our jaws were on the floor. Another one that probably had everyone's jaw on the floor was the triathlons, both men and women's.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was easy peasy in the end, wasn't it? But my goodness, there was a bit of a scare. There was a bit of a scare. Ash, would you fancy having a dive into the Seine?
I would actually, yeah.
I mean, it's brutal, isn't it? On that first swim, everyone's hitting each other, kicking. Yeah, there was a guy who lost his cap and his goggles after the first turn, and he's got to swim back. His eyes must have been red raw. But did you get to see much of this? Did you get to see much, Ash?
I didn't. I caught the highlights. I saw Yeezy come around the final bend and finish strong. But that's all I saw. I don't know much of his story, I'm afraid.
Oh, well,
South
John,
London.
Yeah, he's more of a runner than triathlete, wasn't he? But and he certainly, well, if Tom Pitt got reeled in that front pack, he certainly reeled in. What was it? The Kiwi that was in front. Yeah. Phenomenal. Oh, that was great. Canoe slalom, always fun. Your friends, the Slovenians, always do really well in that one.
Do they? I haven't seen any of that. But maybe I will now. I know they're in it. Or is it over now?
Doing well. One of our guys came fifth earlier, but I mean, it's just a great sport. I mean, the upper body strength for that is phenomenal. Kieran Riley, BMX, silver in the men's freestyle. I was listening to this whilst driving down to Bournemouth, and I had the privilege of listening to Radio 5 Live and their hilarious coverage of this. who did I say it was? Mark Chapman, Victoria Pendleton, Conor McNamara, who you associate with football commentary, and he suddenly has got to come out with all the stats and all the
Wait,
stuff.
they're not going to be telling you that that's a double tail whip backflip or that's a 540 flare. Oh, he's done the double flare. Are they just going to be like, oh, he's
Conor McNamara
he's in the air again?
He did an amazing job, and he was like, he's done this. He was saying like the whip and all this kind of stuff.
Okay,
but it was more the noises that they were making. They were watching them do warm-ups, and Victoria Pendleton, obviously she's a track cyclist, so she knows something about bikes, which is probably why they got her on there. But you can't do this with your carbon. You can't do this with your long carbon fiber helmet. But she was, and they all the noises. It was hilarious listening.
Sounds like Gogglebox to me. Gogglebox commentary, just fine.
It was excellent. I mean, but if that's not your sport, how do you commentate on something like that doesn't get a lot of exposure? But
it's true, I suppose. It's true. Putting them on the map, putting the BMXers on the map, the kids.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there is a lot of youth in this games. You see the women's street skateboarding, all teenagers, just a group of teenagers. Yeah. That's how it should be, though, the skateboarding.
Yeah.
That's skateboarding, yeah.
Was it Sky Brown? Didn't she dislocate her shoulder or something?
Yeah,
she had
yeah. But she's not, her event's not, this was just in training. She did that.
Yeah.
The park is coming up.
She'll pop it back in and she'll be off there, won't she?
Hopefully.
Last few other highlights, just rowing. Tons of medals in the rowing. My kids were really interested in that one, particularly for was it Helen Glover? Is it Helen Glover?
Yep.
And her husband, who's Steve Backshall, and the kids, because obviously they love Deadly 60. Shout out for that amazing TV show. But they were like, is this the rowing race? Is this it? And I was like, no, like she's another day. Like, oh, is this it? Is this it? So this morning they were watching that, and my son, when they got silver, my son was like, that's it, I'm done. He was like, I'm not watching rowing anymore. He's
a winner. That's a good attitude. You kind of need that.
He was very upset. Simone Biles, she's back.
She's a bit of a superstar, isn't she?
Yeah,
face of the games type.
And she's literally just won the all-round competition, the one that she sat out for Tokyo, with phenomenal.
Hats off, chapeau.
Yeah, leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the field.
There's been some famous fans because I saw Kendall Jenner was watching her today.
Yeah.
Have you seen have you seen Bill Gates? He's been there.
Well, the men's basketball team are watching her tonight. The USA basketball team.
Ariana Grande, she's been there.
Tom Cruise, he was there as well.
Was he?
Oh, did he fly in?
Have you read about
Flavor Flav? Assume so.
Sorry, John.
Have you read about Flavor Flav, Public Enemy rapper?
I am aware of the hype man of Public Enemy, Flavor Flav. Tell us more, please.
He's also the hype man of the women's water polo team.
Oh, right.
Is he?
He's been
Pleased to see he's got work.
He's been funding them and helping them for a few years. He's been supporting them around the world in all their competitions.
Oh,
and he's there. Yeah, boy.
Amazing. Oh, we love that. I mean, so you just don't get these in
It's
the
a
normal
great
day
story.
today.
Look it up.
You don't.
Yeah. Is he still wearing a big clocks? Is that still his thing?
Yeah, and big glasses, big thick ring glasses, lots of hats.
Nice.
He's cool.
I'm going to throw just a couple more at you, and then Ash, we're going to come to you on a bit of a deep dive on the table tennis. But tennis. Now, I know this obviously is an Olympic sport, and it's one that we see all year round. But sometimes the pairings that you get in some of the doubles, you just don't get any other time of the year. So for me, Andy Murray, Dan Evans, who are playing as we speak, their passion is unbelievable, particularly as this is Andy Murray's final tournament. He's going to retire after this, but oh my goodness, I was glued to the telly watching these two.
Plenty of chest bumping.
Guttural noises. There's at one point Dan Evans rolling on the floor, got back up, and his shirt was a completely different colour because of the Roland Garros clay.
Not the blood coming out from, I don't know, because there's so much passion. I don't know. Or Murray does punch. You know, he used to punch his string so much.
all sorts. But they were just
It's
feeding
passion,
off
isn't
each other. The crowd were for them. Obviously, it's only a short journey for the Brits, but it was phenomenal. As has been Nadal Karath, even though they're out now. But it was just a joy. Some of the shots that they played were just unplayable.
They lost out to the actual doubles pros, didn't they? That's the thing.
Yeah. There was a bit of contestation for them being a pair.
Just hit it down the middle against these single players. They can't handle that.
Yeah, but as you say, it was a good win for doubles tennis, wasn't it? That the Americans went through instead of them, but we're all enjoying it. Last one is just the surfing. I just wanted to pick out the surfing, and that, I trust you guys have seen the Gabriel Medina photo that's gone viral. With him and his finger and up in the air and his surfboard.
Caught a great wave, didn't he? Great barrel.
Absolutely.
He disappeared.
Absolutely. And obviously that's taking over in Tahiti, which is nuts. I mean, we think, the sailors at London 2012 going over to Portland Bill was quite a trek. But this is another level.
It was.
This is another level. So lots of highlights. Any that I've missed before we move on?
Let me check my notes.
Oh, good.
Just shout out to La Baguette, Léon Marchand. La Baguette.
Absolutely,
He's got it all, hasn't he? He looks good. He talks well. Fluent in English, fluent in French. The French love him. 2 golds. It's just something I wrote down. La Baguette.
And two in one evening, which BBC commentary was very quick to say. Not even Michael Phelps did that. Like 2 golds in one session. But yeah, it was pretty impressive. Still got a couple more races to go, hasn't he? Well, as I said, why don't we move on? Because Ash, one of your passions in sports is table tennis, isn't it? And you guys, both of you in particular, have been texting back and forth. But Ash, I wonder, could you just give us, could you sum up just what's been happening so far for those of us that don't follow table tennis? What has been unfolding? Because it's been exciting, hasn't it?
Yeah, so for some context, China absolutely dominates table tennis. It's a national mission for them. So since 1988, 32 of the 37 gold medals have been won by China. And this year, China's already won the mixed doubles fairly comfortably, defeated a pretty much unknown North Korean team. So that was interesting in the mixed doubles. In the women's singles, it's definitely going to China as well. Sun Ying-sha is basically invincible. But in the men's singles, the world number 1 has been knocked out. Wang Chuqin. He won the mixed doubles final. Yeah, please do.
Is it true that he had his paddle broken by some photographers?
Yes, I heard this.
Yes. So after the exuberant celebrations of the mixed doubles victory a couple of days ago, a clumsy photographer stepped on Wang Chuqin's bat, broke it, and Wang Chuqin was furious. He had to be separated. He was squaring up to everyone. And he is known to have had a bit of a temper in the past, but he's been pretty calm over the last year. And he's been pretty much invincible as well over the last year.
He's only been calm over the last year, is he?
Yeah, but it obviously flared up again, which is a little bit strange because he just won a gold medal literally a few minutes before. But I guess I don't know if it's a superstitious thing. Don't know whether he was worried about how the bat was going to feel the next day.
How often are they switching? How often are they switching bats up? Like normally, would you keep a bat for your career? Because in snooker, you keep a cue for like 20 years. It's not that level.
You could,
is it?
You could do, yeah. You probably change maybe every few years if, like, maybe your sponsor gives you something maybe better to go with.
But you'd keep the exact same one. It'd be like the exact same wood.
Yes, you probably would. I mean, it depends on the individual, but I imagine many of them do. So the rubbers, you change them pretty frequently. You change that. I mean, the professionals might change them every match for some players.
Wow.
But anyway, it probably isn't that big a deal, but it's turned into a bit of a big deal. Lots of headlines written about it, and some people saying that's why he lost the next day in the singles.
He played that down,
unexpected.
Didn't
he played it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is other people putting that onto him rather than that actually being a reason he's thought why he lost. But he did, and it's thrown the men's singles wide open. And I have a feeling the stars are aligning, and
Oh,
a
here
certain
we go.
young Frenchman, Felix Lebrun, 17 years old, pen holder, which in table tennis is a rarity these days.
He's a kid.
And he's a kid. He looks like a kid as well. He looks like the kid next door. John said the kid next door you should worry about. I don't think so. He looks like a nice lad. Got a Labrador, that kind of thing. Walks it every day.
Oh, that is nice.
But
Has he brought the Labrador to the village? Do you know?
I don't know if he has one. I don't know if he has one, but he's just saying he looks like he.
Oh, I thought he said he had a Labrador.
I thought that was fact as well. I was going to start telling that to people.
Maybe
I don't know. He might do, but John said he looked evil in a way, or you need to watch out for him. I think he's a real breath of fresh air to table tennis.
No,
he's
I like it. He
drawn
looks
the
like...
crowds. The crowds have really got into the matches. They've been following them. The French public love him, and he's through to the semi-finals. He's got to play the world champion, the Chinese world champion in the semi-finals, Fan Zhendong. Could he win? Very hard, but I don't know. There's something in the air.
When's that match
Something
on?
in the air.
Can you whet my appetite?
That is on tomorrow at, I think it's 10 a.m.
Oh, I'll be there.
Cool.
I hope
Wow.
the boss isn't
was
listening.
Friday the 2nd.
Yes.
Oh, it's exciting.
Yeah,
John,
I feel it in my waters.
Yeah. Oh,
And you're low.
It would be exciting, wouldn't it? It would be exciting, wouldn't it? For just for something that's been so like one country heavy for such a long time.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing and what a great advert, particularly a Frenchman at French games doing so well. I mean, this can only be a positive for table tennis, can't it?
Absolutely. And I was mentioning the gold medal dominance of China. Well, it's been several Olympics since anyone has won a silver medal other than a Chinese player.
Oh, which is guaranteed.
So we at least
happen.
know that's guaranteed.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting for table tennis. Shame about the women's singles. I can just see that's going to be a China 1-2, but there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of like when
in the men's singles.
It's like, what was it, the 50 over World Cup, the ODI World Cup in India, and everyone's saying, oh, it's like India, it's great if it were India to win it, just be great for that and everything. Like this is a great, almost like the opposite, that you don't want the powerhouse to win. You don't want you want the unearthed gems to shine in these moments. And what an amazing opportunity, because if this happened at the Worlds or at something else, it wouldn't necessarily get the coverage. So the fact that it's happening,
no, it wouldn't. It probably would get missed.
People, yeah, it's amazing. Oh, I love it. Can you just very quickly for us, who maybe don't realise that there are multiple ways to hold a table tennis bat, paddle. Can you give us a quick, bearing in mind this is also going to be audio only, unless you check us out on YouTube. But how would you describe? You got pen hold, and
self-explanatory.
What's the other one or others?
Shake hands. So
okay,
there are others. Historically, there have been others, but in the professional game these days, the main grip is the shake hands grip. The majority of players will be using it. So just imagine shaking hands with someone, and that's basically it. With one finger, your index finger. Is that your index finger?
Yes.
Yeah.
The pointy
one.
How's that?
The pointy one is like behind the round bit of the table tennis racket.
The face.
So 3 fingers around it and thumb, and then the other finger. You're kind of shaking hands, but with one finger out. Yeah. So that's the conventional way. Probably of the world's top 100, maybe 90 are using that grip. And then there's the pen holders. And trying to explain how that might be. It's like holding a pen.
What about doing an
with a
okay
big round
sign?
thing then?
Okay sign and threading it through.
The chef's kiss.
Kind of, yeah. A little bit like an OK. So you've got your thumb and your index finger on one side of the blade wrapped around, and then your other fingers are on the back side of the
Yeah.
blade,
And that's
And
what
the
Auntie
backhand
uses.
side.
Shout out to
Who
Auntie.
uses that? Oh
Auntie.
yes, Nijia Liang, Luxembourg player, originally born in China, but 61 years old, and she got through
wow,
to the round of 32, I think, which is a pretty good achievement. She's the top 50 player in the world.
She nearly took a
Lost to Sun
game,
Ying
didn't
Sha.
she? Of Sun. Did she nearly take a game? Or like 10,
I
12?
think so. Yeah, yeah. Still incredibly competitive at her age. Remarkable. Yeah, and no signs of stopping really.
amazing. Wow. Well, you learn something new every day. That's. I mean, it has been great just to see little bits, and the bit that I love when you watch the table tennis, from the angle that you see it at, the table looks so small, and the speed, the pace, and just the way that it goes around, it's phenomenal. I have one final question for you, Ash, on table tennis, and that is: can you please explain to me why, when players serve, most of them stamp their feet and they get like so close to the table? What is that?
Yeah.
Is that like a psychology thing? Is it a performance thing? Like, what is that about? The high
So I
toss.
think the
I don't know.
stamping is twofold.
Not
So
not penhold.
it's it's not penhold. It's twofold.
It's not twofold.
Historically, I think
Yep.
It's not twofold. You're
yeah.
recycling. Carry on.
Yes, yeah. There's two elements to this.
Carry on, Ash. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. In the past, service rules were different, and you could like hide the ball behind you when you served, and players would stamp to kind of like disguise the sound of the spin and this pace from the bat. So I think to some extent there's a carryover from that. So players have just seen older players doing it, but I think it is also they're just putting the effort into the serve, trying to get as much spin on it as possible, and I think they're just putting the whole body into it. So I think for many players, it's just an effort thing.
Badminton has the same stomp, doesn't it? Sometimes you put a stomp in on the old badminton.
Yeah. So it's like it's an imitate and then an innovate kind of. It's something that's happened, has kind of carried on, but has almost actually found a use now.
Yeah, I think so. And as for serving close to the table, I think it's just in general you're trying to keep the serve as low as possible over the net.
Yeah.
And if you're closer to the table, it's much easier to control that.
Wow. Ash, thank you so much on all of that info on table tennis. I mean, it's been amazing to watch it unfold on the screens, but also just great to get a little bit of an inside, get a bit of a
From a professional.
Exactly.
I don't know about
Sorry, a
professional.
budding amateur.
And everyone now is looking out.
A journeyman around Devon and Cornwall.
Yeah, round
Oh
the
yeah.
table. John, could you just give us a quick word? Cycling is one of your passions. Can you just give us a quick? We talked about Tom Pidcock and we've talked about Kieran Riley, but some of the other cyclists and cycling events that have happened, road race and things.
Well, the road race is coming up, and Tom Pidcock could do a completely unprecedented double. I mean, if he were to even medal in the road race, I mean, no one else is going to do that. Van der Poel is the only other guy. I'll tell you what, the road race is interesting because unlike normal kind of, all year round you race for a team, right? And then you come together as a nation. Most bike races, they have radios, so they get orders from the car. Kind of tell him, you should attack now, go hard, look after Wout van Aert, get on the front, bring the gap back, bring that brake back, let that brake go. Like getting a lot of information. In the Olympics, in the World Championships, no radios.
It's pure.
It's pure racing. It's a much smaller peloton, only 90 riders. The biggest teams are teams of 4, like the top 5 nations, they get a team of 4. The next 5, they get a team of 3. So basically, you can't control a race with a small team.
Who are the top nations that are going to have that?
I think, Great Britain are one, Belgium, France, probably Italy and Spain, if I had to guess.
And presumably, Tom Pidcock is not going to be on his mountain bike for this one.
No, he's going to be on his skinny tired road bike.
And hoping not for a puncture, as you were talking to us just before we came on and recorded, it's hard work changing a bike tyre sometimes, isn't it?
Tell you what, it can really ruin your thumbs. Getting a tough tyre to get the bead on. Tiring
work. Well, let's move on, because I've got a bit, a question for the ages for both of you, which I'm going to share next. Okay, so guys,
thanks to our sponsor, by the way. I do like to use shark hoovers sometimes.
Oh, nice. Are you in need of a new one? Is that
shout out shark
fishing? Yeah. A question for you guys. This is a question that I've heard somewhere else, and I thought it'd be great to pitch, particularly for this edition of the pod, as we're thinking about the Olympics. If you had to face Simone Biles in the Olympics, how many events do you think you would win? Just the two of you doing as many. How many do you think you'd win? What do you think you could beat Simone Biles at?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. Well, I don't know.
Because I think gymnasts,
you're essentially
they're
asking,
amazing all-rounders, aren't they? So they could cover like multiple sports.
Combat sports as well.
Yeah, are you asking, can we knock her out?
Yeah.
Well, if you're in a boxing ring, I suppose that's probably one way you're going to win, isn't it? But bearing in mind, I'm not saying we're going to do this. This is all hypothetical. So what do you think? Boxing, go on, John. Do you think you could beat her in a boxing match?
So I lost the connection there for a bit, so I missed whatever you said, but I did hear boxing at the end.
Yeah, do you think you could beat her in a boxing match? So start there.
No comment.
Start there, John.
Look, no comment.
All right, what sports do you think you could beat her at?
Oh, flip.
Ash, table tennis has got to be one for you.
Oh yeah, I reckon
so. Yeah. I haven't seen her play table tennis, but pretty.
Any ideas
on that one.
what type of hold she'd have?
Well, she's only 4'8", isn't she? And that's gonna affect her start. I don't know about her grip, but being an American, not many pen holders from America, so I'm going to say shake hands.
Yeah.
For Simone Biles.
Do you know what grip Forrest Gump had? Because he was a big table tennis player, wasn't he?
Was he?
I've never actually seen Forrest Gump.
Oh, me neither.
I now look like the guy next door, Mr. LeBron. Just right, weird. It's a great reference. Anyway,
we're the weird ones not seeing that.
Come on, then.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Give me some sports. What are you going to beat Simone Biles at? Athletics. That's a big one there.
I think she's beating me at almost. I can't think of an athletic event I could beat her at. She's
you might
strong.
Beat her in endurance.
She's far, maybe. I don't know though.
Is she not more like a power kind of
sprinter?
Power kind of person?
She looks pretty fit. I reckon she'd be a pretty good runner. I guess
I think you do distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I say over 5,000 meters, you'll beat her.
Yeah, maybe 10K and up.
Do you think you? Well, I know you're a very active runner, aren't you, John, and cyclist? So maybe you've got the lung
That's
capacity.
a nice compliment.
I'd rather. What else? Shot put.
Shot
put. Discus.
No, I think she got way more upper body strength than me. She beat me at both.
I think the throwing ones. I think just at 4'8", I'd back myself just on limb length.
Yeah.
For the throwing events.
Yeah.
I think I've got a decent arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do.
What do you think about things like equestrian dressage? Do you think? I mean,
well, I've ridden a horse
surely
like 3 times in my life.
You can.
I have ridden a horse. If she has never ridden a horse, then I'll back myself because I've got slightly more experience.
3 previous experiences.
But she's got.
I don't think she'd take to the horse well, to be honest. I reckon we'd beat her on the horse.
Yeah.
All right.
John,
she's used to a pommel horse that doesn't.
Yeah, that's not going to move.
Yeah, there was something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, work with it. Work with me on this one.
She's up and down. She's up and down the back of it, but she's not making it. She's not leading it to water. John, cycling. Surely you'd.
Yeah, I actually do think so. I think
It's powerful legs, though.
I know. Again, it'd have to be anything like the track stuff. She's probably beating me at. She's an all-time athlete.
She is,
and she's got the 2 seeds. That's what I worry about, hasn't she? She's got the two big
All right, well,
C's.
so all in all, Simone Biles is probably beating us at most sports, which leads me to my next question. Out of the three of us, which sports are we beating the other two?
What? Who's winning the most golds?
Yeah, and what sports? What do you think? I mean,
Anything endurance, anything running, I'm pretty poor at, so I can rule myself out of those.
Yeah, I confidently say I reckon I can beat you both at every running and every cycling event.
yeah.
I'm just putting my cojones out there.
Yeah,
I think that's
no,
what
you
you
would
asked
be.
for. So
Yeah.
No,
And
it's fair. I
I've
wouldn't disagree, yeah.
I think I'd
played
lose
tennis
to
with you,
Ashley in
John.
every racket sport.
No, I've played tennis against you, John. You're very good at tennis.
You have improved a lot at tennis, probably.
There was a time.
I haven't played. I
What a
haven't
double
played very
backhanded
much
compliment
tennis
that
in a
was.
long time.
There was a time when I think the win. I don't know what the win record would have been, Ash, between me and you, but there wasn't much in it, despite your
wasn't.
technical prowess.
What about things in the pool? I think I could have a bit of an edge on you. I think in the pool.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, you're
I
good.
I used to do a lot of swimming. I've got my badges sewn onto my towel.
I've got gold medals, mate.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but have you got your?
No, I have from
you
year
got Kellogg's?
6.
Have you got your little frog sewn on your towel and your whale and your?
I beat all the best backstrokers in Launceston primary schools. All of the hot shots from Windmill, all of the hot shots from St Stephen's.
Where are they now, John?
In my wake, that's where they were, and they still are.
All right then. Well, we'll have to don our trunks. I wanted to pick up on as we talk about lots of different medals. There's an interesting Michael Johnson, sprinter, phenomenal man on the track.
BBC personality.
Yeah, great, great guy, great commentator, great athlete. But he was talking about how difficult it is for him to comprehend sports such as like BMX, kind of all the newer stuff, surfing, or like basically events where you get a score, and some of it is down to like opinion. This was brought up in the BMX freestyle, where it's like they both did was it gold and silver with such fine margins, and it was basically down to like style or who kind of had the most flair. Whereas his point was, well, I know that I've won because I was the fastest runner. Like, what are you? I mean, what are you? Any thoughts on that?
There's a lot of camaraderie in these sports.
Isn't that gymnastics as well?
Yeah, but that's always been sort of competition based. I think like skateboarding, surfing, BMX, they're like sports that still like X Games, whatever. Everyone's just in it for a laugh. They're all congratulating each other when they do.
They're all
trick.
friends, aren't they?
They all respect what each other are doing, and it's always been like, especially with skateboarding and surfing, that the competition is like a secondary element. So it's a bit strange seeing it in the Olympics.
Yeah. As someone who could once pop an ollie,
Absolutely.
I feel is it selling out? I don't know.
Yeah.
The skateboarder in me says it is. In reality, that's just life, isn't it? Everything has to sell out. But the teenager in me, the romantic in me,
they're still making good videos. That Japanese skater, she was on the cover of Thrasher the other month, so it's like they're still cool. They're still cool.
Skate for passion, not for fashion. Am I right? Well, let's move on from the Olympics.
Yes, you're right.
Last time we set up a bit of cricket chat, but just to say there's still tons more to come. All the velodrome, there's the athletics, all of that to come, and we've not even talked about breakdancing yet. But let's park this and let's move on to a bit of cricket. A little bit of cricket. England and West Indies, whitewash. England won. Fantastic. You guys are my authorities on cricket. Have we learned anything about this England team?
Yes, I suppose a little bit. Not really.
Go on. What have we learned, John?
Jamie Smith, good player. Gus Atkinson.
Yeah, love him.
Good player, but then it's just like we know English cricket's doing well. I'm sure Ash will agree too. The biggest story really is the state of Test cricket. That's what comes out of it. West Indies.
Yeah.
This stuff is getting more and more important because England are always going to win Test matches at home. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah. Is this the death of Test cricket? Because from my understanding, I've only been in cricket.
You're going to throw us
paddling.
a huge
I'm
question there,
paddling.
aren't you? That we can't really answer.
I am. But what is it? Australia, India, England. They're the main Test playing sides. And if it's just those three, like, surely we're going to get these results all the time, particularly when it's at home. So, what is the point of Test cricket? What improvements need to be made?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the main issues around Test cricket are the financial issues, and beyond England, Australia, and India, none of the Test playing nations can really afford to do it.
It's harder to
afford to put
monetize.
on long series, and they're hemorrhaging players all the time to franchise leagues. They can't get players to commit to multiple series, and they're weakened for it. They have to put out inexperienced sides, and I think that's where the issue comes from. It's not necessarily lack of enthusiasm amongst players, but money talks.
Yeah. Do you think if there were finances and facilities in places like the West Indies, I don't know, the Netherlands, places like these other great kind of white ball sides, do you think if there were red ball facilities and things,
they got the facilities, I suppose.
They'd want to do it?
It's just hard to monetize, isn't it? It's just like 5 days where you have to book out the stadium. I don't know. If you have a whole series, you're talking like 15 to 25 days.
But it's not hard for England, India, Australia. So why is it hard for other nations?
Bigger TV audiences. English fans still love Test cricket. There's big TV deals with Sky, for example. BT Sport have had it occasionally. Same in Australia. They love Test cricket still. There's still the TV deals. And in India, there's just a huge amount of money for cricket in general. Even if Test cricket has been slightly diminished within India, there's still just so much money.
India is the hope.
Flushing around.
India's where the hope lies because they still love it. People like Kohli still will always tell you they love the history of cricket is what will keep it going. Because people absolutely love historical stats and comparisons, and most of that is Test cricket. So.
And the number of eyeballs that you're going to get from an Indian Test is just around the lot. I mean, even the T20. They're saying, what was that game against Pakistan? It was like over 1 billion people in the T20 World Cup watching that game. I
think one issue with Test cricket, that's the way it's been done with the bilateral series, is that so let's say West Indies come and tour England. The West Indies have to pay for that tour. England don't pay them any money. They might help put them up and things like that, but they don't pay them any money. They don't give them any share of TV revenue, for example. That's just for the ECB. And so there's just no incentive for teams to do tours. I mean, if the West Indies do a tour of Bangladesh, there's no money for anyone there at all. And there's no prestige either. No one's watching. And beyond a few cricket enthusiasts, I'm sure the players themselves care. It's just, when you've got a mortgage to pay and you can go and play in the T10 Abu Dhabi League and earn 5 times what you'd earn playing Test matches, then there's no question, really.
Well, that sets us up nicely. The 100 is happening at the moment. It's been a good laugh, been good fun.
Has there been any good games? There was one good game, wasn't there? I've been checking the scorecards and I was waiting for an actual... Sorry, this is the men's. The women's, very good. But
women's is always very good. And the 100's been a fantastic advocate for the women's cricket. It's been amazing. But in the men's game, the last 2-3 days, we've actually had some really tight contests. It's like down to the last few balls, which has been good. And it's what's been needed. And I think now that... The test with West Indies is finished. A few more English players are going to be getting back in. Joe Root made his very first appearance in it, and he hit something like 30 on off 18 balls. He did a really great cameo appearance.
The Root scoop.
Everything. that everybody wanted. So lovely. My final question for the cricket for you guys. Mott is gone from is the white ball coach. Forgive me, I've forgotten his first name, but Mott is gone. Matthew Mott. Josh Butler at the moment still there. But is the next person that's going to take charge of that Freddie Flintoff?
Well, yeah, it could be. I don't know who's in the ranks.
I
heard Trot. It could be Mott for Trot. Trot done a great job, obviously, with Afghanistan.
Yeah.
England do tend to go with things that rhyme, like Stokes, Folks, Wokes.
Yeah.
So Mott Trot would make sense from that perspective.
Mott out, Trot in. But no, maybe Flintoff would be great vibes as well.
Because he's currently coaching the
Spirit of 2005.
Absolutely. Spirit of the Pedalo.
Yeah. Some say he's being sort of fast-tracked into the role.
He's been around the setup for quite a long time, hasn't he? I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Like a couple of years.
He was part of the team brief for like a month, wasn't he, for the ODIs? He was did a really interesting cameo, and then he was again part of the team for the T20.
Recovering from his Top Gear crash.
Yeah. Anyway, let's leave it there. We'll wait and see on that one. And other than what Owen Morgan apparently said it'd be great if Brendan McCullum could do both. But
well, Owen Morgan, surely. Why can't he? He likes.
Well, he's got a cushy seat in.
Yeah, loves it on the sofa,
Sky, hasn't he?
Sky pod.
Well, anyway, let's leave it there for this time. As I said, we're in the middle of summer, so our pod's going to be a little bit infrequent's the wrong word. We're just going to space them out just a little bit over the summer. Therefore, the next time that we meet, we're just probably going to pick up the end of the Olympic Games, and that leads immediately into the next Premier League season. It has come around so quickly.
Ben, you're going to be predicting the full table 1 to 20.
Done.
Yes.
Thanks.
Well,
Ben.
I think we should all do that. I think we should have our surprise packages. I think we should have our biggest disappointments, breakout stars, all that kind of.
It's that time of the year where AFC Bournemouth is top of the league once again.
Yeah.
Do you know what? They don't do that anymore.
Well, they just start with a B.
And just start with
Arsenal's
a B.
back on top, baby.
Yeah, livid. Absolutely livid. AFC, it's part of our name. Get it on there. But yeah, so the football season's coming up. We're gonna cover that as and when we do, because we talk about it all the time. We watch it. We go. Obviously, great East Anglian sort of interest this year. Ed Sheeran's going to be there, I'm sure, on the opening day.
Oh yeah, we're going to see a lot of Ed this year.
A lot of Ed.
Ed in the stands. Cut to Ed clapping.
Yeah,
with his tattoos.
And it would be great as well to also touch on Plymouth Ash, Wayne Rooney. There's going to be a lot of. I mean, we talked about a lot of eyeballs on India, Pakistan, but I mean, there's going to be
eyeballs on Argyle this year. Probably more eyeballs than ever before, I'd suggest, in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, interesting to see what will happen.
And we'll touch upon it all. But guys, let's leave it there for today. Let's cheer on Team GB as they keep going. Medals are on their way. The gold rush has started, but it's far from over. Let us say au revoir to tonight and to you all. And we'll see you soon. Guys. Yes.
Come on, Felix.
Come on.
Allez, Felix.
Allez, allez.
Guys, au revoir.